What's up, everybody? Good late afternoon or early evening. We just got hit with the injury report for Tuesday, so let's take a look here. Greg Bell with the latest. And I can tell you that things got a little bit better, but for some guys, probably not quite better enough. So let's start with the DNPs. We got three of them. And at this point, if you're a DNP did not practice, you've kind of got long odds to play because remember, you don't have the extra day between the final day of practice and the game like you would from Friday to Sunday. It's Wednesday to Thursday. So this DNP list is very likely three guys who are not going to play, including Ken Walker, who is of course the big one here. Ken Walker didn't practice today, and Pete said there wasn't really any change in the way he looked from last week to this week. So I think that's Pete basically saying that, yeah, there's going to be no K9 for this Cowboys game, which doesn't surprise me. So it's going to be Charbonnet and maybe some Ken McIntosh instead. Maybe some DJ Dallas as well, but I think we all kind of want to see a little bit of that McIntosh stuff. The other DNP is Phil Haynes. At this point, I expect him to miss the game. He's got a toe injury, which is no joke for an offensive lineman. And at this point, I think Phil Haynes is just going to miss the game. I don't think anybody's going to be super sad about that. I mean, he's a very, I don't even know if mediocre is the right word, interior offensive lineman at this point. Doesn't seem like he's any better on the left or right side. He's regressed, if anything. Like I'm thinking back to 2019, his rookie year, he looked better than he does now, I feel like. So I don't think anybody's going to miss him too much, especially if it means more Bradford, which we'll talk about him more in a second here. And Eskridge also did not participate after being limited yesterday, so that's a guy headed in the wrong direction. Not that anybody's really going to miss Eskridge either, but he did play pretty well on Thursday last week, so can't even build on his momentum a little bit there. Like, you would think that this would be an opportunity for him to maybe build on what he did against the Niners, but looks like that's not even going to happen. So I would expect these three guys to probably miss the game. And nothing terribly surprising. The only one that's a big loss is K9, and we knew he wasn't going to play this week. In fact, I kind of feel like, to be perfectly honest, I feel like we're going to get dragged along with K9 all year, and then he just never gets back. And we're just told every week that he might get back, and then it never happens. I just, it has that feeling, if I'm being perfectly honest. So, not too optimistic there. Okay. Four guys were limited. Derek Young was limited. He's headed in the right direction, so good news there, I guess. Again, he doesn't have a big role on this team, but it's good to know that he's at least headed in the right direction and might play at some point. Not really expecting him this week, although I will say this is an opportunity for him if there's no Eskridge. Derek Young probably gets to play a little bit if Eskridge doesn't. I know they do different things and play differently, but they're both receivers. Leonard Williams, limited after a DNP yesterday, so that's good news. He should be fine. I expect him to play. It doesn't feel like there's a significant injury associated with him sitting out some practice. It feels more like a situation where we're just resting him because he's a veteran and he doesn't need it, and we're just marking it as an ankle injury because technically there might be something a little bit wrong there. And Will Dissly limited as well, so he's headed in the right direction from a DNP to an LP. Great news there. Dissly looking like he's on his way. So Will Dissly should play. I would expect at this point, probably not 100%, but Will Dissly's never 100% if we're being real. And Jamal Adams also limited with the NIR rest tag, so I think he'll play. I would be very surprised if he didn't play. So of these four guys here, I don't think Derek Young will play, if only because his role is so small it's not worth risking it over. But the other three guys, I think we're good. And then we've got our full participants, which include two guys who were limited yesterday, so they are officially trending in the right direction. Anthony Bradford and Abe Lucas. Expect both guys to play, or at least be active. At this point, I think it is safe to assume that Lucas will play. And if he doesn't play, I don't know what that says about our process with him. Are we really just going to be that careful with him? Are we really that afraid of something to where he can practice in full for a couple weeks and we still don't play him in a game? If so, then why is he coming back this season at all? And Bradford being active and able to go is a big deal if Phil Haynes can't go because, like I said yesterday, I think most people are over Phil Haynes and just want to see what Bradford can do. Bobo and Derek Hall were both full participants again, so they should be fine. They should be good to go. We're going to need something from probably both those guys, to be perfectly honest. Both guys have been really quiet lately. And in the case of Bobo, I don't mind it because I know he's a run blocker first and foremost. But Derek Hall is going to have to take some kind of a step up here so we actually feel like he's playable. Because right now it seems like we don't even think he's playable. So I'm kind of looking at that and going, that's where we need some, that's where we need a happy surprise. We need something with Derek Hall there. That's everybody who was listed on the injury report yesterday. One name that is not mentioned here at all that is very notable is Jason Peters, because Jason Peters got hurt in that Niners game, and I thought he was probably going to miss a lot of time because he's old, but I guess he's cool. So you might see Peters at right tackle, you might see Peters at right guard. Both those things are possible. I would personally prefer to see our young guys at right tackle and right guard, but if Peters has to play, then it's nice to know he can. And that's it for the Seahawks side of things real quick. I want to flip over to the Cowboys side of things. We got Ralph Vasciano on X with the latest, and he's actually got some interesting updates here. So a lot of the stuff carried over from yesterday. Rico Dowdle, still limited. Again, I would expect him to play, but it is notable that he has an ankle injury and he's a running back. Dante Fowler still not practicing with that illness. Probably okay, but it's at least within the realm of possibility that he doesn't go, I guess, at this point. Peyton Hendershot is still a full go, so nothing to really worry about there too much. Mozzie Smith still a full participant. The two pieces of good news the Cowboys got today were J-Ron Curse is now a full participant and Tyrus Wheat is now a full participant. So both those guys look like they're good. And obviously it only really matters with Curse because he's the guy who actually plays. But the big kind of potential plot twist here, Micah Parsons is sick now. He didn't practice. Normally I would say illness doesn't really matter that much, but it's 2 days before the game. So that might actually matter. You know, that might not be enough time for him to get right, even if he does get right enough to play if he's sick. I remember a couple years ago in the Cowboys-Niners playoff game, I think Micah Parsons was just getting over a sickness in that game, or right before that game, and he did not play well. So Micah Parsons might be severely limited and not able to play his full set of snaps on Thursday, and I guess it's possible he doesn't play at all. So that's actually worth monitoring. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Normally I would just say, oh, he's sick, he'll be fine, but it came up 2 days before the game, which is the equivalent of Friday before Sunday. But other than that, everything looks pretty good over there, so things are going in the right direction for the Seahawks. The big thing is we still don't have our lead running back, but I do think that some Seahawks fans, even the ones who haven't given up on the season yet, and for the record, I don't think you should give up on this season yet, I think they want to see McIntosh, so even that does come with a little bit of a silver lining. All right, see you guys later. We'll be streaming with the Hawks Nest later tonight at 7. Go Hawks.